What about teaching restraint in the classical time period? I was teaching a Kuhlau sonatina today. It was 55, number 3, the one in C. And I was working with the first movement that begins like this. It has tenuto accents. Now, first of all, students need to, at this level, the intermediate level, need to know the difference between a tenuto mark and an accent mark that looks like this and a wedge that looks like this. They need to know those are progressive. We have just the tenuto mark, which is just I would like to say if I was in person, it's like a nudge. The accent would be like, a push, and the wedge would be like almost a hit, So we don't need much here. There isn't much asked for here, assuming that we have a good addition here. But if we have a student play what's written and they don't listen, here's what it could sound like. It gets old, doesn't it? Now, the student's doing what's on the page. But when a student gets to this level here, and they're intermediates, okay, they're not advanced, they're not college students, but still, I find I was teaching a 15-year-old, and she totally got what I was saying. Now, I hope I don't step on any toes here, but I used an analogy that is a gross overgeneralization, admittedly. Everybody's not like this, but I said, if a British person, says, well, so nice to meet you, Catherine. I hope we get to see each other soon. An American might say, hey, it's great to see you. I hope we can connect really, really, really soon, The Brits think the Americans are over the top, and the Americans think the Brits are a little restrained. Okay, so the classical period, the point is, the classical period is more like the British than the Americans. There's a restraint there. So do we really want to hit the accent, or do we want to give it a little bit, just a little bit? Now, I want to point out to the student that the notes with accents are also notes that have a longer note value. You see that? They are already of longer value. Now, of course, we play a percussive instrument and the decay happens immediately, but if you have a dotted quarter note, it's going to create a little bit of an accent, even if you don't do anything. So if I played this with no accent at all, it might sound like this. All right. So now you heard it with too much and nothing. So what I tell the student is, what are they after? Well, we know they're not after just hitting you in the face with something, because that is not part of the classical style. It's understated elegance. So what we want to do is a little bit. So it's all about listening. It needs to sound like there's a little nudge, but no more. Okay. Does that help? Restraint in the classical period. Observe what's there, but have the students listen. It's dangerous for students just to go, oh, well, it's on the page and I played it, without really listening. So that's what I'm after, is to get my students to understand what the style is, sound concept is, and what the composer was likely after in terms of sound, and get them to listen to what they're getting out of the piano and make it match what they hear in their ear.